This video is brought to you by
Welcome to Cool Green Clothing. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. And if you ain't on the team yet, come on get with us. Come on and make a purchase. Go online right now. CoolGreenClothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way. That's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Let's get right into the story. Being known in the streets is unfortunately a goal for a lot of young men growing up in certain environments. Having that clout to be considered a shooter or someone not to play with, it gets you a certain level of fake love, in my opinion, and false respect. A lot of times that clout comes with a price though. How many times somebody from around your way with a name in the streets gets jammed up? Whether they beat the case or not, you hear people say, yeah, Lil such and such jammed up. And somebody else says, yeah, that sounds like something yo would do. They say that with no kind of information at all, because that person with the name becomes known for certain actions. Not to mention having a target on your back, whether by the police or other street dudes. Now you become a prisoner to your own street activity. Association in any environment is vital. We all here watch the company you keep, because you might be guilty by association. That means on every level. If they are beefing, you might get caught in the mix, because now you are known as they mans. Or if they hot with police, you become a hot boy too. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we will take it back to 2016 to discuss a case of 3 young men encountered with each other in broad daylight in downtown Baltimore that went left. In 2016, Derrick Jackson had a lot going on. After just a year earlier being labeled Baltimore's public enemy #1, being accused of a hit of a man named Jamal Green, who was shot in the intersection of North Pulaski and Vine Street. Allegedly, all fingers pointed to Derrick, and he was indicted on the counts of first-degree murder and handgun violations, with the state calling the young man a known BGF member. Prosecutors were hot on his trail, but in the mix of the case, a witness who said they saw everything will recant their statement, leaving not much for the DA to go on, and the charges against Derrick was eventually dropped. Fast forward to 2016, he now had a baby on the way with his girlfriend. On December 5th, they took a hack to a doctor's office on 16 South Utah Street. During that same day, 23-year-old Tavon Coakley was also in the area with his grandmother, visiting his brother who just had been shot at the University of Maryland. After being at the hospital for a minute, Tavon decided to step out and head towards Lexington Market. Back at the appointment with his girl, Derrick told her, "I'm hungry. I'm about to hit the market." Also talking about Lexington Market. It was a little after 12 p.m. After leaving his girl at her appointment, Derrick bumped into her associate named Vincent Barefoot. As the two chopped it up and walked towards the market, Tavon was headed in the same direction. When Tavon hit the corner, he crossed Fayette Street, headed to the 100 block of North Utah, when Derrick and Vincent saw him, allegedly while the two walked side by side. Vincent took a blick from his coat pocket and slid behind Derrick. Tavon now right across the street from the men. They all caught eye contact. As they got closer, Vincent upped the gun and Tavon took off, trying to get out the jam. 12:40 p.m. in downtown Baltimore, witnesses, cameras, and police everywhere. But for whatever reason, while Tavon was trying to get away, shots went off, striking the man. In the commotion of people fleeing, a Baltimore City officer saw Tavon stumble in the alleyway. The officer was on feet and ran behind the young man, noticing he was hit. He tried CPR, but unfortunately, Tavon stopped breathing and was pronounced gone at the scene. Derek, by this point, was back at the doctor's office with his girl. As he entered the room, he told her they shooting outside. I don't know what's going on. Not too long after the appointment was done, the couple left, and back on the scene, Baltimore City police were looking for evidence. Shell casings were on the ground, and witnesses said they heard up to 4 to 6 shots and 2 men running. Being a popular area for locals and tourists coming through the city, cameras were everywhere, including 2 security cameras mounted on North Utah Street. At that time, they were operated by the Hippodrome Theater. While waiting for the footage, they notified Tavon's grandmother the young man had been hit, and when she was in shock, he only stepped out to walk for a minute. A few days would pass when police released the footage to the news, showing a man wearing a jacket and black hat, who they identified as Vincent, and a man wearing a gray hat identified as Derek. Detectives told the public they caught the whole incident on surveillance and saw Vincent get behind Derek so Tavon couldn't see him. Then as he got close, up the blick. As Tavon and Vincent started their encounter, Derek started walking the other way before shots went off, and video showed men fleeing, who police pointed out as Vincent and Derek. They were now suspects and were wanted. Families of both men were shown a video in which members of Vincent's family pointed out the fact that was him in the footage, but they didn't know anything about his shooting. The man often hung out downtown and could have been there for many reasons. Detectives also figured out Derek's girlfriend had an appointment that same day, and already being labeled public enemy number 1, they headed to talk to her. She stated she hasn't saw the man since the appointment and had no idea of what happened, other than the news and Derek coming back in the room that day of the incident stating they shooting outside. Police left the young woman, but a few days later, Derek reached out to her and stated he saw his face all on the TV and he was thinking about turning himself in. She asked where he was at and he gave her an address. She put it in her GPS and it was 4 hours from Baltimore City. The young lady headed to pick up Derek, and she was surprised when she got there and Vincent was also in the location, along with another man. Without saying too much, they headed back to the city, even being pulled over in the surrounding counties, but just to receive a warning. They were headed to an apartment in Park Heights, but police already had the area locked down, searching cars like they already knew the men were around, eventually taking both Derek and Vincent into custody. In 2017, the case started making its way to trial. Prosecutors' main evidence was the video footage that showed both men walking and also Tavon crossing the street. But when it was time to view the actual encounter, the state told the court the footage got messed up somewhere in the mix, so prosecutors only was able to keep certain parts for the trial. It was painted as a robbery attempt on Tavon. Vincent was convicted of first-degree hit, use of a firearm, and commission of a crime and conspiracy. He was sentenced to life plus 20 years. Derek was found guilty of first-degree hit, conspiracy, accessory after the fact, and premeditated murder. He was sentenced to life, all suspended, but 50 years. Rest in peace to Tavon. I send my deepest prayers and condolences to his family. It's crazy how he was just visiting his brother, who just had got shot, and unfortunately stepped out in the same streets and lost his life. What's wild is, it was broad daylight downtown. I don't know if it was a robbery, because if so, why shoot, knowing there's cameras and police everywhere? But I guess in the moment, people don't think. Derek was already hot and labeled public enemy, so I feel like any association with street activity, they was already on him. Only these 3 men know what really took place that day, whether it was street beef, a robbery, or something deeper. But now, 3 men are gone, 1 to the streets and 2 in prison. I wonder, do dudes ever think, like, yo, I'ma just chill, cause I know I'll probably get caught if I do this and go to prison forever, or have a body on my hands, and I could just walk the other way. But that name and reputation that most out here strive for is usually they downfall. Now that name only holds weight in prison. But hey, that's the Baltimore way. Man, crazy story, you feel me? Rest in peace to Tavon. Y'all heard the story. I ain't gonna talk y'all head off with this one. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. Remember to definitely be respectful. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. It's all love, fam. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. This your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.